Hello, everyone. We are already nearly one quarter of the way through our year, and for some of us who set New Year's resolutions, we may be starting to struggle with them. And what I thought I'd talk about today is a couple of things I learnt just recently about goal setting. Uh, I've learnt from Ben Harvey, who has actually got a seminar or a workshop coming up soon in Brisbane on the 2nd of April and in other locations around the country as well. Check his website for more information, where you can learn more about what I'm about to mention to you. So, with goal setting, I'm sure everyone might have learnt growing up about start goals or smarter goals, all of which have pretty much the same sort of inference of they need to be specific, you need to have a time frame, they need to be um, oh, it's not coming to mind right now because that's not my focus of what I wanted to talk to you today. But something that Ben Harvey taught me was that when you're looking at time frames in particular, there's kind of two ways to look at this, and the main one that's always talked about is a linear version of setting a goal, and that is at the start of this year I am going to start doing radi radi ra, or maybe by the end of this year I will have completed radi radi ra, or maybe this year every week I'm going to go to, say, the gym. So they're all very linear, and this is kind of a male point of view in some respects. Males are very linear, but on the other side of the story, you can look at the female way of looking at goal setting. And females are cyclical. Their whole bodies are cyclical, their way of thinking is cyclical. So for them, goal setting in a linear fashion may not actually work so well. What they need to do is look at it in a cyclical fashion. And by this, I mean you could go seasonal. This summer, I'm going to go to the gym every single day. They could be a bit more defined, uh, weekly, daily, monthly. All of this is cyclical methods of goal setting, and it might seem that they're all maintenance methods, same as linear. However, they're not so rigid on dates. They're a bit more generalized, and the start and stop time frames are a bit more rounded. Even if you wanted to have a bit of a linear aspect, you could say by Christmas rather than, well, that's linear, by this time next year. So that's still a rough time frame rather than a set date. That's an aspect that you could consider for your time frames if you identify yourself as female. Now, something else which is even a bigger thing, which is sort of female and male oriented, is which I'm actually going to classify as the hunter and gatherer method of thinking, and that's how many goals do you set. So back in the day, the hunter would say, right, today I'm going out and I'm going to kill an animal and bring my family home some dinner. And that was very much a single aspect goal that the hunter had for the day. And so in that respect, hunters tend to need only a few goals, and if they have too many they can get overwhelmed. So for a hunter identifying person, they would want to focus on 1 to 3 goals only, achieve those goals, and then reset them, ideally just even the one. Gatherers, on the other hand, they would be looking at, say, okay, today we're going to go out into the fields, we're going to hopefully gather some herbs, we might keep an eye out for some strawberries and other relevant fruits that are growing on the ground, but we'll also be looking up because there might be citrus plants that are in season. And while they're out there gathering different forms of fruit and veggies and things to add to the dinner or the meal, they're also keeping an eye on all the kids running around and making sure that they're not getting into trouble, keeping an eye out for danger. So there's multiple things going on in the gatherer's mind. So for a gatherer, you would want to look at, say, 6 to 10 goals, and be working on different goals at the same time and not just be focusing on one thing. Interestingly, Ben says that if you are feeling overwhelmed as a gatherer, then just add yourself something more to do on your to-do list. Now, this might seem contradictory, but interestingly, it might work for you, because simply if you have 4 things you need to get done in a day and you sort of don't know where to start, if you add 2 more things to that list, then all of a sudden you're going to be thinking, crap, I better get on with it. I need to get this done, I need to get this done, I need to get this done, and you just get on with it. However, if you've only got 4 things and you're like, oh, which one should I start with? I've got a bit of time, maybe I'll go and make a cup of tea, and you procrastinate getting on with it because you've actually got spare time to procrastinate. So instead of feeling, oh dear, where do I even start? I've got to do a few things and wasting potential time doing them. Give yourself 3 more things to do, and then all of a sudden you will get on with it, because you don't have time to sit around worrying about where to start. You're just going to start. So that's just an interesting thing to think about. I hope you've enjoyed hearing a few thoughts, and if you are interested in hearing more about goal setting and the hunter-gatherer options, then please come along and hear Ben speak, because it is amazing and he does have scientific background to back up everything that he says. Uh, and other than that, I hope you've enjoyed my little talk, and till next time. Bye.